Ricky here with Breaking Your Barriers on our segment Hanging Out with Local Heroes. And guess where my local hero is from? This awesome man is from South Africa. So he's staying up a little bit late with me, hanging out. And let me just go in and give you a little background about who this guy is. This man has gone through some ridiculous adversity. Yet, he is one of the most positive people I've met. He's a motivational speaker, he's an inspirational speaker, he's an encourager. He's somebody who gives you hope. The man gives you possibilities. The man has so much wisdom, so much kindness in his heart that whatever he's going to share with you comes straight from his soul. It's all about trust and truth with this man. I want to introduce my hero for today, Kam Metsmala.
Oh man, you brought me out. You brought me out. I'm like, hey man, are they talking about me? I'm literally, hey man, like damn, it brought me out. I better not mess this up, you know. Thank you for being on this platform. Thank you for being on your show, man. I'm just humbled. Like I said, when we spoke in the earlier today, I was just telling you that oh man, I'm ready for this. I'm humbled. All I wish, I've been praying that my signal doesn't go bad. That's what I've been praying for. So I actually switched off all of my data for anything else and just kept it on this focus right here. So thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
My pleasure, brother. And the reason why I had you is because when I saw your Instagram page, oh, by the way, I'm going to post my man's Instagram page and any other social media that is on. So if you want to reach out to him and you want to say hello, you want to say thank you, I'm going to post it in the YouTube description once I have this thing published. Kam, what got you into motivational speaking?
Like I said prior, I was speaking to my brother right here, and I was telling him that it came from lack, basically, not ever having that encouragement, that word of strength being given to you. My mother never showed me that type of love. My father, rest in peace, also never showed me that kind of love. So I grew up just looking at other people who had loving parents, or rather had loving fathers and loving mothers, give them such words. And I always felt out of place, man. I always felt in thirst of those words. I just wanted somebody to tell me that I'm worth it. I wanted somebody to tell me that they believe in me. So I figured that I'm not alone on this earth who's actually thirsting for those words. I'm not alone on this earth who's actually thirsting for encouragement and motivation and somebody to just inspire that spark within you. So when I consumed a lot of media, especially inspirational media, the movies that I watched, the books that I read, the motivational videos that I've listened to and I've watched as well, I figured that I have this gift of speaking, and what they have done for me through these different outlets of media, let me just do it to people locally, in seminars, in Toastmaster clubs, and online, on Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to bring the same positivity that had been poured inside of me. I wanted to give it to the world as well.
Wow. And the reason why I'm saying wow is because you and I have something very relatable. I was thirsting for that encouragement from my dad as well. His his expectations were extremely high. He was always out of the country because he was a military man. And
Mhm.
and coming from the Philippines, they don't show emotions. It may be quite similar to South Africa, but my dad, he wouldn't show any emotion. He wouldn't tell us I love you. He wouldn't say I'm proud of you. And if we ever heard that, we would just be in heaven. But he was just one of those guys that I did it, you better do it.
Mhm.
And I want to ask you because it's important for people to know who are going through the same thing that you've gone through and I've gone through as well. How did you personally overcome those challenges as a youth? Because you may not have had access to the videos or the books back then. Growing up, what was your outlet when you didn't receive that kind of love, when you didn't receive that kind of praise?
Um, it's honestly, I just want to say it was those outlets from a young age, because I remember the I grew up loving television. I just don't want to lie. I just grew up loving television. So the if you watch, what's that movie? The Lion King.
Yes.
I think that's the first movie I can ever recall from my childhood age. So if you watch The Lion King, you have a lion that's been outcasted. That's been, yeah. Now it goes through life just not doing nothing, forsaking its own ability of a king to go back and rule a kingdom. So it forsakes that potential just to live in a jungle and lays around. So until Rafiki comes and says, I believe in you. Basically, he goes on a whole, blah, blah, blah about your father, you're no longer your father's son, so on and so forth. But the gist of the situation is that I believe in you. You need to go back to the kingdom and rule it. And also if I can touch on what helped me is growing up as well in the environment that I grew in. When we spoke earlier, you spoke about being in a gang. What's funny about that, when I was young, I wanted to be in a gang. Like I literally, so bad I wanted to be in a gang. But in South Africa, we have different, we call them number gangs. You have your 26ers, 27s, and 28s. These are number gangs. So most of the people in my neighborhood, my old neighborhood, were 26ers. So I wanted to join the 26ers, but they wouldn't let me. So I remember there was a guy who's a 28. Basically, it's a higher ranking number. He just came from prison. He served 10 years in prison. So when he came out, I was so happy because he just lived like 3-4 houses away from me. So I was happy when he came out. I wanted to be his friend, and after being his friend, I wanted to get that number. I wanted to get that number for power so people can fear me. But I remember he told me that because when he came out, all those tattoos that he had, he burned them. And he told me it's not worth it. It's literally not worth it. And when he said that, I got angry, tried to join the other gangs. But because people were afraid of him, nobody would let me also in their gang. And at that time, I was very angry at him. But like when I look back right now, man, I'm just very thankful. I'm just very thankful for what he did for my life, yeah.
The reason why I joined the gang in the first place, the year before that and the years before that, I was bullied because I was a little skinny little Asian boy, and I was getting bullied. And I wanted to fit in somewhere where people actually appreciated me. And when I was a gang member, they appreciated me because I was causing chaos. I was fighting all the time. I was stealing all the time. A lot of girls like you because you're a bad boy. But
yeah,
man, looking back, all I can say is to any of you who are watching this, and if you still remember me, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if I caused you any pain. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't mean to giggle, but I'm giggling because I'm looking at myself now as a motivational speaker, and I used to be a gang member, and it's because of what you had to go through when I was that horrible person. My friend here who is speaking to us, he had a choice. He made the choice, and he was devoted to getting into a gang. Kam wanted to get into a gang because
I literally did. I did.
yeah, you did, and it's because you wanted to fit in so badly as well. But now you and I are older, we can look back at our life and say, I'm happy the way things turned out. I'm sorry for the people I hurt, but I would never change it. Otherwise, I'd never be who I am today, and Kam would never be who he is today.
Oh man, that's yeah.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Kam, if there's you probably still have a bunch of youth who also want to do what we did, which is want to get into a gang. I'm curious, what would you tell them right now at this very moment, Kam?
I'd say, man, look, if say for instance, if you say you want to be a motivational speaker, yeah, I say look at 10 years in the future for a motivational speaker. If you want to be an accountant, look 10 years in the future for an accountant. If you want to be a physicist, look 10 years in the future of a physicist. If you want to be a gang member, look 10 years in the future of a gang member. Because I've had friends. Right now, some of my friends are in jail.
Yep.
Some of my friends are serving time. Some of them died. Some of them are on drugs, strung out on drugs. So now when I look at that, Because when I was 15, I didn't see that.
Right.
I didn't have a vision of the future when I was 15. All I saw was the power that was there at that moment.
That's right.
But now if you have that, if I were to speak to these young kids, look 10 years in the future. And don't watch The Godfather and think your life is gonna be some Don Corleone type of lifestyle. That's not gonna happen. Don't look at what you call this, Peaky Blindness and think that's gonna be your life. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna end up good for you. It's literally not gonna end up good for you. Each and every story about a true gangster that lived. Let's not look at the fantasies. Al Capone.
Capone, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, his life didn't end up good for him. If you look at even what's that movie called, The Irishman.
Yep.
The main protagonists in those movies, nothing ends up good for a life of a gangster. You shed too much blood. Yes. You bring too much bad luck in your life, especially when you start shedding innocent blood. So that's what I would tell these young kids, man. Like, look 10 years in the future, look what's gonna happen. Study what's gonna happen. If you literally wanna be this, you wanna be a gangster, study what's gonna happen.
Yes.
See what's gonna happen in your life. And once you've seen what's gonna happen, if you're happy with that, okay, make your own decision. Nobody's gonna force you to make a decision. But if you're happy with death, jail, I remember, man, I was arrested for one night. I don't even want to go back to jail in my life. I've been there for one night. And let me tell you something, South African prisons, oh my goodness. Oh, brother, there's literally nothing fun. It was just for one night and for some stupid thing even. It wasn't even gang related. It was just me holding a cup of beer outside of an establishment. I was just walking my friend out, telling him bye-bye. And when I came back in, a cop who felt very abusive of his power that night was like, no, I'm taking you in. No. And that night inside, I'm telling you, that was, I don't miss that place. I don't even want to go back to that place. So imagine people who were there for 4 or 5 years, 20 years, 20 years. Imagine how much your life is wasted. When you come out, people have moved on with their lives.
Right.
People have forgotten you.
That's right.
Nobody cares. Everybody's only focused on what they're doing right now. So look 10 years in the future before you ever think of joining anything or being anything. Look 10 years in the future.
Powerful, man. And it's even more amazing if you and I just tell the youth of today, look 1 year in the future, even just 1 year. If after 1 year, you can ruin your entire life. Now, the reason we're sharing this is not to scare you. The reason we're sharing this is to let you know there is another possibility. And if you doubt that, reach out to me, reach out to Kam. We were part of that lifestyle. Reach out to us. We're going to share with you ways to get out of this crazy, crazy lifestyle. I understand the power. I've been there. We've been there. We've done that. But the pay and the sacrifice and what can happen to you in the future is not worth it. Kam spent 1 day in a South African jail. No, never again. Never again. I'm telling you, if you're listening to this, and you should, reach out to Kam, reach out to me, ask us what we did, and we'll find out where your strengths lie, because you're not made to just be killed. You're not made to be a worthless human being. You're worth something. You've got a story to share. I thought I was worthless. My man Kam thought he was worthless. But like what Kam just said, trust, baby. Trust, truth. Kam, is there, man, that hit home with me, brother. Woo! Oh God, is there anything you'd like to share? Because like I said, I've watched your Instagram and I follow you because what you say is truth, and I trust what you say because after having met you, brother, you're exactly who you are in your videos. You are truth. Is there anything that you can say to our viewers is there any words of wisdom that you'd like to leave with our viewers? And you've got a lot. You've got a lot.
I just want to leave the viewers with just this thing. Be the caterpillar amongst worms. There's a story about a caterpillar that grew up amongst worms, where that the caterpillar kept on thinking that it can actually fly. But the worms, the earthworms around this caterpillar thought this caterpillar was crazy. They literally told him, you're too fat, you're too slow, you can't even jump. So the caterpillar kept on looking at the sky each and every day, eating the leaves until it went into seclusion. And in the seclusion, it started to grow, started to develop. And when it came out, it became a creature that can fly, a beautiful creature that can fly. So what I want to tell a lot of people is that you may be in an environment where you're the only unique person. And a lot of people around you, they're trying to cut you into a square, they're trying to make you fit in, but you're so unique and you're so individualistic that you cannot fit in. And I want to say this to these people: when you have that dream, when you have that goal, or that vision that nobody sees and you can only see it, trust in it, develop it. If you have to go into seclusion to grow it, go into that seclusion. But at the end of the day, you're going to be flying just like that butterfly. So that's what I want to leave people with. Be that caterpillar. Be that caterpillar.
If you didn't get that metaphor, folks, you missed the whole thing. What Kam is trying to say, man, you better love who you are, because you are the only unique you.
Trust.
You are the only unique you, and you alone can determine how high you fly.
Oh man, beautiful.
How high you fly. That's up to you. You're unique. Every single one of us. Kam's a caterpillar. I'm a caterpillar. And all caterpillar of different looks, races, sizes, everything. Be that caterpillar, like Kam said. Words of wisdom, brother. Hey, my man, can you please leave your family, your friends, your followers, just the people on social media who love you? Can you leave them with an amazing message in your mother tongue, brother?
In my mother tongue. Let me see my mother tongue. I was like,
and then you're like, wait a minute, which one?
In my mother tongue. What can I say in my mother tongue? Okay, we have a saying, but this one, it's not necessarily from the old Tswana language. It's youth, usually us, the youngsters, we use this. It says, so what it basically means is that a lot is lies. Contextually, what it means is that don't focus on everything. A lot of it is just deceitful. Just focus on yourself and focus on growing. So, tebaya gemaka means a lot is lies. Contextually, stop focusing on everything that's around you. Focus on yourself, your goal, your family, and just developing yourself. Stay with me, tebaya.
Tebaya. Ke.
Maka.
Tebaya Kemaka.
Oh!
Tebaya Kemaka, everybody. That's right. And I'm telling you, and the reason why it's hard, I can't even get my man off of this thing, because every time he shares something, it reminds me of his amazingness on Instagram. He said something on one of his channels, on one of his videos, which was, you're gonna have all kinds of dogs barking around you. Don't listen to every single one of these dogs barking around you. Stay focused, because all these people are just trying to grab your attention, and it's not good attention. They're trying to get your attention and try to pull you down. So I'm telling you, I'm going to put his Instagram page on here. You befriend this man. And like what we said earlier, Tebaya Kimaka, baby. Now with that, oh man, nothing but love for you, brother. And I just want to say, Kam, thank you for being on Breaking Your Barriers, hanging out with local heroes. My local heroes from South Africa. Connect with him. And if you have anybody that you want to recommend for this channel that will continue to inspire people around the world, like my man Kam, leave us a message. and leave Cam a message saying hello, saying thank you, or just saying, Cam, you helped change my son's life or my daughter's life. Cam, thanks for being on the show, brother. I'm going to see you again.
Oh man, salute. I'm gonna see you too.